Hey guys, it's Cesar,
And I'm Carla.
and welcome to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life
Episode number 19.
19. And we are here in a different location. We're not recording in our home studio today. We are at the Hits 101 Radio Studio. How you feeling being here today?
Good. It feels different because, I don't know, it feels more like official.
Yeah. We're gonna continue recording at home because we like the set over there too. But I'm recording like a project with with an artist today at the studio. It's not my usual Rodriguez show recording time, so we set it instead of setting up twice. We'll just two different places. We'll just record the show here. So that's why we're here, and we're excited to record another episode, especially today because today that's dropping. They called this holiday Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to everybody that celebrates.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, if you're listening and you're celebrating your father, then that's great. If you're a father yourself, that's good too. Just be a good dad to your kids. So how's your week been? How's everything been so far?
It's been good.
Yeah.
I've just been working. I had today off, and it's been just another week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the days are just going by so quick.
It's true. Yeah, like we're almost done with. We're halfway through June at this point now, and then it's gonna be the rest of the summer, and then oh my God, it's just flying by.
Yeah. It just feels like how can I catch up? But all I can do is try.
Exactly. All you can do is keep going, right?
Yeah.
So because it is Father's Day, I did want to talk about our respective dads. So we are each going to just share a story about our dads. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You can go.
Yeah. So my dad, he was very artistic, and that was one of the things that because if you had seen him, he looks kind of like a biker kind of guy, like not somebody that would be, artistic, but he was, and he could draw very well. And so when I was in middle school, was not very artistic, and I was struggling in art class, and I would just have him do all my art projects. And the teacher didn't notice, but then the teacher invited a few students to a parent and son, or what is it called?
Parent-teacher conference?
No, like parent and student like art class. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so it was like after school on one day a week, and then you could take your parent and you would do art together.
Nice.
And then that's when my teacher realized that I was bad and my dad was the one that was good at drawing. It was funny.
What kinds of assignments was he turning in for you, or like doing for you?
It was like self-portraits and shit. Like you had to look
You didn't do those in class?
We did some, but some of them were not great. So then I'd just be like, no, I just need to work on it at home.
That's funny.
So then that's when the teacher realized that what was happening, but he didn't say anything. But he did. I don't know. That teacher, because he was a guy, and he had like a liking towards my dad for some reason, because he was just not what you'd expect from because my dad looked like I said, a biker, and he was not. So he like drew a portrait of my dad in the class. Yeah, I remember that.
Did you guys keep it?
Yeah, we had it. I don't know where it is now, but we had it underneath the bed where we keep a bunch of posters and stuff and art.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was my experience with my dad in art class in middle school.
Nice.
What about your dad?
I just wanted to give a shout out to my dad because he's the reason why I'm good at taking care of plants.
Yeah.
Because growing up, we would go with him on the weekends to go work with him to what he did was like clean plants inside of people's houses and like offices too. But I don't know, we did both. We did offices and houses with him, and that's the reason why I know how to take care of plants now. And so
because of your dad.
Yeah, and my dad got it from his mom, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But your story reminded me of a friend I have who's like, we were in art class together. I think it was either 7th or 8th grade. I don't remember, but she was a really good artist, still is. But our art teacher accused her of, because we would do the projects inside the classroom, but then take them home to work on them at home too. And she accused my friend of not doing her own work.
Oh, shit. How do you prove that?
Yeah, how do you prove that? And like, what a bold accusation to make.
Yeah.
Like for a 7th or 8th grader, like that's so fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Yeah. So anyway,
what ended up
that's
happening?
I don't know. I don't think she got in trouble. I think she like eventually like realized like, oh, she really is a good artist.
She really is doing the work.
'Cause she's really talented. But yeah, I thought that was fucked up. That's what that reminded me of.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, we are gonna celebrate your dad. We're gonna get together and go to lunch with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be good. And your family had planned going to see Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to talk about that real quick because we just watched that movie.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think? You really liked it, right?
I liked it. Yeah. I hadn't seen a movie like that in a while, but it was good.
Yeah, because usually, like, I'm trying, and I have to say, like, I am self-aware that usually the movies I'm trying to watch are pretty artsy-fartsy in that sense, where they're like, there's deep metaphors and shit, and sometimes stuff doesn't make sense, and then later you think about it, and you're like, oh, yeah, it does. But with Top Gun, it was very straightforward. Like, you didn't have to think that much. It was just planes, and they're very clearly marked good guys and bad guys. Online, people were saying that the movie was too patriotic, but I was like, there wasn't any super American flag imagery on there.
No.
And people online were saying that because you don't ever see the faces of the bad guys, they're like, well, it just shows you that America's trying to dehumanize their enemies. And I was like, what the fuck? I feel like you're overthinking it. I feel like it was made to be apolitical on purpose. Obviously, because it's, part of the Navy, there's going to be some like the United States is the good guy supposedly, but it's not like they're like, it's a story about people, not about a country.
Right.
So I think that's where that's why I enjoyed it, because it's so like they're just trying to it's action on a plane and that's it.
I'm not invested in the bad guys at all, so you got to take the plane down. You got to take the plane down.
It's true. It's like
I thought it was like feel good, I guess.
Yeah, like even the Marvel movies, they try to be like, well, it's full of robots, so if they kill them, it's okay because they're robots. And this one, they're like, yeah, they're gonna be humans, but you're never gonna see their faces, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, shout out to Top Gun. I really thought it was a good movie. I thought it's a fun thing to turn your brain off and enjoy. So that's pretty much it for the intro. But what about our weekly updates? What do you have for us this week?
This week I started re-listening. This week I started re-listening to a book I had read. I don't even remember. I guess maybe earlier this year. No, I think it was last year actually. I listened to this book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, and it's about learning about your shadow and like the things that you suppress, the things that you don't basically want to accept about yourself, but like all the emotions and all the characteristics that you don't want to admit that you have are actually there. And you have to embrace them in order to like to just be fully yourself. Which has been my struggle for a while. I feel like it's hard for me to feel like I'm being authentic because I feel like I'm so far removed from that part of myself because for various reasons. But I feel like it's important for me to do this work in order to get to the point where I feel like I have clarity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like right now I'm still making decisions based on like my programming from when I was younger, because I have not arrived to that place of like knowing for sure, like, and feeling confident about where I want my life to go, basically. So now that I'm re-listening to these books, I feel like I'm at a different place and like able to receive certain information, and so it's just cool to realize that, I guess.
Yeah, to do the work now when you're in a better place to be able to help yourself.
More relaxed place, yeah.
And that's how I feel too in terms of not internal stuff, but external stuff. Like I'm in a place now where I have time to be doing all these like videos and stuff, but I'm having difficulty, keeping up with that workload. And it's like, how am I supposed to have a job on top of this already? I just wish that I could make this my job.
Because there's like, I know, because there's like work around the house that needs to get done too. So it's like, it's a lot.
And now I'm like Are
you ready to start your OnlyFans or what?
I guess so. Yeah. So and then you haven't been going to
What else?
improv it yet either.
No, so this week and next week I work in the evening, but the following week I finally asked for the Wednesday night off, and so the 29th or the 28th I'm gonna go.
Nice.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, for me, so I had been on a job search and I had, interviewed for a few times, and I thought I was going to get this job, but it didn't work out. I got an email that they said they moved over with other candidates. So yeah, I was like a little bit disappointed, but I also I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. So it's not like I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do now? Like I'm just going to keep looking for a job and still work on and take advantage of the fact that I'm still able to work on the projects that I can and use this free time for what it's supposed for what I'm trying to do, which is put out more videos, and we've shot a few extra things for the show that I'm trying to get out on time as well. So I'm a little discouraged, but it's like, hey, how about you just look at it as you still have a bunch of free time.
Yeah.
And so that's so the day that I got rejected from that job, I've been looking at this video editing course that is going to help me make better videos, and it helps you find a job in that field too, the course supposedly. So that day it went 50% off, so I just was like, all right, this is a sign. I didn't get the job, but I'm going to learn more about my craft, and I'm going to go and get it. So that's what I did.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll reflect on these videos and the ones that I do in the future too. I mean, it's not going to be overnight, like this one's probably going to look the same, but down the road I think it'll be really beneficial. And it's just I think it's a matter of it's tough because sometimes you schedule out like the days that you're supposed to be doing these things, and then you get to that day and you're like, I don't know if I want to do it today, but I want to push myself because there's a lot of projects that I've been putting on in the back of my mind, like a new episode of CRP Radio and stuff like that, where I can write a script and people act it out, and it's like, why not put myself where I need to do that stuff? And but at the same time, it is the summer and stuff for the show is ramping up. So it's like, it's hard to prioritize the creative thing that like CRP Radio, where it's like only for the sake of creativity and not for building a platform like I am with the show, or for this one too. So it's like those creative passion projects are always going to be third to the Rodriguez show and this show. So it's I don't know, like it's finding the balance, I guess.
Right.
Because I'm so locked into the flow of editing the Rodriguez show videos and then these videos that unless I like wake up every day and do 9 to 5 of editing, I'm never going to catch up. So maybe I need to treat this editing thing like a 9 to 5 and start doing it straight up 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because then by the time I get the job, then it'll just be transferring over the schedule of 9 to 5 to whatever I'm going to do for them. So
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked out and I found a solution right now. Yeah, because it's getting tough because as haven't worked since April, so now it's 2 months of not working. And at first there was a whole I got to keep up a schedule and I got to keep up my what I'm supposed to do every day. And it's getting easier to just be like, no, I'm just sleeping today and then not do anything, and then wake up at noon and go to sleep at 2 and then not have done much. But
yeah, it's hard when you don't have a structure. You have to
push yourself and discipline yourself.
Yeah, good for you though, because that's tough. Yeah,
because I want to be able to also have fun. So there's days where I can totally blow off everything I'm supposed to do, and it's okay. But but I like those days a lot. And how many days could I have that a week versus actually putting in the effort to create everything?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'll keep you guys updated on the course and how everything's going for that. And that's all I had for my weekly life update.
Nice.
All right, should we get into these scenarios?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, I'll start here with the first one. My daughter, a 13-year-old female, is leaving school for the summer soon. Yeah, so she's finishing school. She's been going on about getting Snapchat for a couple weeks now, and I've consistently said no. Last month, she tried to make a secret account behind my back, which lost her phone up until recently. She's been getting increasingly desperate, telling me I'm ruining her summer. Her friends only communicate through Snapchat groups, and she's been left out of all their summer plans because she isn't in the group. I simply told her if they weren't willing to communicate her in other means, then they weren't true friends and she can do better. She'll be in some clubs over the summer so she can make new friends. These obviously aren't willing to adapt for her.
She hates me, obviously, and has been down in the dumps. My ex has contacted me recently and told me to lighten up. But I told her our daughter has already proven she can't be trusted by going behind my back in the first place. No one seems to be on my side, and I'm half tempted to just give in. People chastise you for allowing your teen on social media and then call you abusive when you don't allow it. You can't win. Am I the jerk? I do know her friends mean a lot to her.
Damn, that's tough.
That is really tough. Because, I mean, I guess he didn't really talk about his reasoning for not wanting her to be on social media.
I feel like it's
sure
obvious.
There's concerns. Because, I mean, I would be concerned too. But at the same time, it's like you can't avoid it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough because, like, I mean, I think everybody thinks they're gonna be the parent that doesn't just give their kid an iPad to entertain themselves. Like, I think that about myself if I were a parent. But then it's like, I'm sure everyone has like a breaking point when they're like, okay, here, just do what you need to do, like entertain yourself. But in this case, it's like, social media isn't good for them, but it's like, if it's part of what the rest of her social group is doing, then you're kind of hindering that. Like, I feel like it's just part of it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough because I do feel like when we have kids, that I want to put them in a situation where they're going to be in like this, like social media. Like, it's not great. It's not great to be on social media when you're young because it morphs your view of the world. And so we know that, and even as people that are 30 years old, we know that too. But that's part of life. Like, it just sucks. It's like we talked about before, where it's like, if you didn't have to be on social media, you wouldn't. Because, like, for us, we're trying to do this, or for people that are trying to have a social life, then that's what it's going to be. But I also understand being a parent and going, hey, how about you live in a world without social media because you're going to be the lucky one. I'm doing you the favor.
Right.
But
it's hard to see that in the moment.
Yeah. And that's what I think too, is like, I want to give my kids freedom too when we have kids, but I also want to be able to influence them in a way where it's going to affect them in a positive way. And maybe social media is something that you can limit, but at the same time you can't if all these other kids are going to be, only messaging each other and that. But at the same time, like, why?
So it seems like either they resent you now or they resent you later.
Yeah.
Wait, does that make sense?
They resent you now? No. I mean, either they resent you now and they thank you later, or you let them do whatever they want, and then it might mess them up. It might. Like, I'm not saying it will.
Right.
But it's also like trusting your kids to do the right thing. But it's not that you don't trust your kids to do the right thing. It's you don't trust the whole world to treat them with the respect that you think that they deserve, which, people deserve.
And I feel like so many different things influence not just kids, everyone. Like, this is just one thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, she's going to find a way to, like, if she really wants to have a Snapchat, she's going to figure out a way to
have one.
I think.
Yeah. It just Snapchat itself is like weird. Like, why did the messages need to disappear? Like, maybe it's like if it was like, hey, Instagram messages, but you have a record of them, and it's like, hey, like, maybe that's okay. But I don't know. Like, even like I don't know. We can have a whole deep conversation about how kids shouldn't be exposed to this at an early age, but it's the reality we live in. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess just find a compromise.
Yeah,
is all you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're the jerk at all, but because like you mean well, but at the same time, she is missing out on stuff because of it.
So maybe it's an education thing. Maybe it's like, hey, this is what can happen on social media. Like, this is how you use it in a way that won't hurt your brain. Or, hey, like, always remember that most of this stuff is virtual. It's not real. The only real thing is what you see in front of you that you can hold or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like, I think it is a balance, I guess.
I think so.
So that was a good one.
Yeah.
You want me to start with the next one?
Yeah.
My nephew's birthday dinner was at Outback Steakhouse, and my autistic daughter has many food sensitivities. I looked at the menu and asked if she could eat anything on it, and she said no, and she asked if I could prepare her own food. I said she could and asked her to keep it simple. She said she would make a hummus and pesto sandwich and apple slices. I said it was fine, and I put the food in Ziploc bags in my purse. At the dinner, everything was fine at first. We all ordered drinks. I got a Coke, and daughter got an Arnold Palmer. When it was time to order food, I got the steakhouse salad and asked for an extra plate, and my daughter very non-obtrusively declined to order. She was quiet and calm, and the rest of the party didn't notice. When the food arrived, I quickly put my daughter's stuff on my extra plate and slid it over to her. Since she was eating off the restaurant's plates, it was hardly noticeable that she wasn't eating restaurant food. My sister, however, saw what I did and got angry. She told me to get my daughter an entree. I said she was fine. My sister got louder and drew the whole table's attention.
I tried to divert attention by asking my brother-in-law's mom about her garden, but my sister got even louder and told me to stop making a scene. And that this was her son's special day, and my daughter wasn't going to be the center of attention on her son's special day, and I needed to stop acting like the world revolved around her. She got so upset that her face turned red, and a waitress came over and asked for our table to quiet down because we were disturbing other tables. I just collected my daughter and left. My sister texted me a bunch of abuse and a Venmo request for $50. I know a salad that I didn't even get to eat most of, and 2 soft drinks wasn't $50, so I sent her $20 instead. My brother said that sister was tired of it always being something with my daughter, and even though sister way overreacted, I instigated and should have left her home if she couldn't handle a restaurant. But to my mind, she did handle the restaurant. She didn't make a scene. Just didn't eat the food. Why couldn't everyone just eat their food and ignore my daughters?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's weird to get so triggered by somebody that's autistic wanting to not eat what's on the menu. Even if they weren't autistic. Even if they were just like, hey, I have dietary restrictions, I'm going to eat my own food off the plate so it looks like it doesn't make any difference.
And it was like she snapped.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, were you just waiting for a moment to like snap at somebody?
I think that's the case. I think that was the case. She was just waiting to like say like, what the hell? Because she probably had said like, because she said it's always something with her.
Yeah, and like nobody noticed. She didn't order food in the first place. Nobody noticed. Like, I mean, eventually she did, but like, why did it matter?
Yeah.
That's just odd.
Yeah, I think it's like some people are just way too triggered by what other people do that doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
It's one of the cases here is like, yeah, it didn't bother her. Like, I don't even get why, like, it's always something. It's like, yeah, but she didn't make a scene. Like, you're the one making a scene.
So maybe they're just the excuse for you to make a scene.
Yeah. It's poor. The nephew's dinner was ruined by his own mom, not by the uncle that had his cousin who had to eat something that wasn't on the menu or whatever.
Yeah. So you guys are not the jerks and just
drop them.
Drop the dead weight. Don't need them.
Yeah. Do you want to do the next one?
Sure. This happened the other day. A 23-year-old male, was at a pool party at my best friend Greg's house. There was also a slip inside set up and people were using it. My friend Amy used it and screamed. The whole party turned to her and she's clutching her breasts and there's blood just pouring out of her hand. She had slid over a rock and cut herself. I'm in nursing school, so I run over to her and ask her to see the cut. She pulls her hand away and I see that it doesn't look too serious, but it definitely needs attention. I turn to Greg and ask if he has a first aid kit, and he said yes. He said yes in the bathroom, inside the house. So I walk Amy into the house and grab the first aid kit. I pause for a second and ask her if she's okay with me helping her with this or if she wants to do it herself because of where the cut is, and she says, no, I trust you and I want your help. So we go into the bathroom and wash out the cut. I look at it more closely and make sure it isn't serious. I put some Neosporin on it and bandage it up nicely. Amy thanks me and we go back outside.
A couple women come up to Amy and ask if she's okay, and one of them, Sarah, gives me a dirty look and they kind of lead her away. I go back to where I was sitting and Greg sits next to me and says, some people were talking shit out here. I did my best to defend you, but I figured you should know that they were talking shit about you helping Amy. I asked him what he meant, and he said that Sarah was saying that it was creepy how I sprung into action when I saw the opportunity to play with the boob. And a few other women and one guy agreed and were making fun of me. I was pretty upset about that, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I just ignored it for the time being. Later that day, though, I was sitting by the fire pit, and Sarah was sitting across from me, and nobody else was around, so I asked her why she was making fun of me for helping Amy. She said, I guess that was a little mean of me. I'm sorry that I did that, but I just thought it was kind of weird how you saw her boob was hurt and ran up to help her and insisted to help. I know you're in nursing school, but I think you should have let a girl handle it. We all know first aid too. I thanked her for her apology, and I don't like confrontation, so I just said, all right, I'll just keep that in mind from now on. So is he a jerk for helping his friend out that got injured?
Oh.
That's so weird.
That's crazy. Yeah, that Sarah person just assumed that he
was a
insisted on helping, even though he she wasn't there, obviously, because he said that it was once they were like inside the house. He asked like, are you sure you're okay with me helping you with this? And it's like, why would she assume that he didn't do that?
Yeah.
And if he is in school to be a nurse, like, is he only allowed to help guys?
Yeah. Like, it was just a weird thing, like, because what is the angle she was trying to say? Like, you should let, like, you think that a woman was too helpless to help herself, and it's like, no, she wanted help.
Yeah.
Because she got cut. Doesn't matter. It could have been if a guy got cut.
And obviously,
in the balls.
You didn't jump up to go help her. Like, you could have done that too.
That's what everybody on the comments was saying. Was like, yeah, everybody was. If you guys know first aid, how come I was the only one that could help her? Like, what the hell? And it's weird that you would think that they're like, this sounds like young people mentality, and this guy's 23, so I'm assuming everybody else is the same age. But I mean, at 23, you should have a little maturity over it was just a boob. Like, it's exactly, it's just a boob. It was not about, hey, let me touch your boob. It's about, let me help you. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Would you, if I was in a situation where I helped somebody that we know that got cut in the butt or something, like, I'd be like, I was just trying to help them. Like,
yeah.
Because it wasn't, I thought when I first read this, I was like, oh, like Sarah probably likes them or something. But no, it was just legit. She was just like, yeah, you were trying to grab a boob.
Yeah, and I feel like your training kicks in too when it's something like that. Like, you automatically want to help because it's like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do. You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely not the jerk for helping somebody in need, and he did all the right things by asking her if she was comfortable, and that's all you can do. Yeah, it's so weird how people want to put these like
projections.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it. That was it for the scenarios. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to those?
I thought those were good.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. We're gonna continue next week. We have episode 20.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll be recording from home like we do before. We did before this one. How did you feel about recording in the studio?
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to sound a little bit better just because there's a little more padding in here than in our place, but it's the same. Like, we're still hanging out here. We live a couple streets down, so
I would say just there's a little bit more room in here to like sit up.
Oh, right.
But other than that,
yeah,
the same.
Well, all right, guys. Remember to like this video, share it, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That helps us out a lot, right?
Yes, please.
And follow me at I am Cesar Rod on Twitter and Instagram. Or where can they follow you?
On Instagram, Carlella Rod 89 and or Planned Parenthood OC.
Nice. You can follow the show at The Rodriguez Show on Instagram, and then patreon.com/The Rodriguez Show, youtube.com/C/The Rodriguez Show. And that's for the radio show that I do about hip hop. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thanks for watching. Bye.